YouTubers, it's Judy from Wildly Passionate, and today I'm going to be doing another book review from a fellow YouTuber. Anyway, he's someone I really admire. I'm sort of a recent fan of his. I hadn't really heard of him before maybe this year. So this book is a new release. It's called Draw with Jazza, Creating Characters, Fun and Easy Guide to Drawing Cartoons and Comics. So this is not a hyper-realistic book. This is definitely a more stylized approach to drawing people. If you don't know who Jazza is, you should definitely go to youtube.com/drawwithjazza and watch some of his videos. He also has a daily vlogging channel called Daily Jazza if you want to see more about his own life. And recently he has been talking a lot about his book that he just released, and he's so excited about it, so I thought I would do a little review and basically talk about how excited I am about it. So the format of this book breaks down the process of developing characters. And I think really the strength of this book is in how it organizes the information. I always like to have a specific process I can go through for a drawing or an illustration. Any piece of art, I like to know where to start and like what's gonna come next and what's gonna come after that. Even if I don't know specifically what I'm going to draw, I like to know the process of how the piece of art is going to get made. So that's kind of how this book works. It starts out with stage one, which is discovering who your character is going to be. Coming up with your details about the character. This might come from a client or you might be working for yourself. So you basically create a person and you create an environment that they would live in, and you start to create an idea of what this person might look like, what might their characteristics be, what their personality might be, and other really important design details that you should do before you even start sketching. One area of this book I found really useful was the style example section, where he goes over some specific styles that are very popular for illustration and some different ways you might want to work. It goes from the very simple to the more realistic artwork. Stage two then is the design process, and this is where you start to sketch out your ideas. It's a lot like thumbnailing for illustration, so if you are familiar with that, it's basically just exploration of visual ideas. You put pencil to paper and you start to see how things look on a piece of paper. Visually, you start to mix match different details, different facial characteristics, different costumes, different poses, and you start to just see what that might look like on the paper. So this book briefly covers basic construction techniques for drawing the body and head. However, it does not go into specific anatomical detail, and if you're looking for a real drawing guidebook, I think this one is a little bit brief. It focuses more on the process of designing a character, and so the actual drawing phases are only touched on a little bit briefly. Next we move to stage three, which is the develop stage, and this is where you start to pick out what is really working, what does the client like, what do I really like, and you start to get really detailed. So this is all a refinement stage. You start to establish maybe the genre and the setting, like it says here. You start to add colors, see what furthers the story of your character, and you make sure that every decision you make actually informs the character more and matches their personality and makes sense with who they are. The fourth step in the whole phase of developing a character, which I think is really the final step, is stage four, which is titled Deliver. So these are the actual final pieces of art that you deliver to a client, that you put in your portfolio, or that you would, send to a partner who you might be working with upon a project with. And so this is like the final illustration of your character, the turnarounds of the head. These are the practical aspects of your character and how they would look with different poses, different expressions, all these different details. Maybe they have different costumes, maybe they move in a certain way. You really need to explore how this body exists in space and what does it look like doing different things. So all of the art for the delivery stage would be pretty finalized. I think you can leave it a little bit sketchy depending on who you're sending it to and what kind of project they're going to be working on, but you want everything at that stage to be pretty clean. So the final section of the book is called Pulling It All Together, and this is considered stage 5, but it's really just examples of work Jazza has done where he has a design brief and then he goes through the entire character development process, and you get to see why he makes certain decisions and some of the sketches that he worked on, things he didn't like, things he did like. And if you're familiar with his stuff, he even has some examples from The Tale Teller. So this is an animation that he worked on, and you can see some of the decisions behind characters you might already know from his video. Overall, whether this video was done by a YouTuber or not, I think it's a really great book that overviews the whole process of designing a character. It's every single stage that's involved. It's not just how to draw. It's also how to think about a character. So if you are new to the character design process, I think this book is perfect for you. Especially if you like working in more stylized cartoon and comic styles. You'll find some really great examples in this book to use as reference and inspiration. So overall, I found this book really, really inspiring, and it makes me want to go draw and create some characters just for myself, just to see what I can do, and just keep exploring different styles. So that's all for today's book review. I hope you enjoyed it, and go check out Jazza if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Remember to stay passionate and take care. Hey YouTubers, how's it going? Welcome to Wildly Passionate. Sorry about that.